Today we're gonna rank every 1-mana black spell on a tier list. All right, we're gonna start the show off with Tommy Sin said Dark Ritual, snapping dude in darkness art. Snapping? Is this it? Is this the snapping guy? Hold on, let's see. There's a snapping guy. Does he snap? Is this the snap? Okay, whatever. I think this is what Tommy wants. All right, so 1 black instant. Add black, black, black to your mana pool. Flavor text. If there is such a thing as too much power, I have not discovered it. Volrath. That's a pretty good flavor text for Dark Ritual, because there is nothing more insane than Dark Ritual in the game. This originally was a way of ramping creatures. You know, get your Sing Your Vampire out, I don't know, by turn either 2 or 3. Something, you know, to help facilitate the creatures. And by today's standards, all it does is help combo decks. You want to win on turn 1, you want to win on turn 2, you win with Dark Ritual, because Dark Ritual into other Dark Rituals facilitates so much mana. You can do some really stupid stuff very early on in the game. There is nothing fair about this card whatsoever anymore. So this is... I mean, the whole point of playing 1 land drop per turn is that you're stifled on what kind of spells that you can play. But Dark Ritual breaks all those rules. Play whatever you want, no matter what the cost is on turn 1. And of course, you don't want to like empty that all into a creature these days. If you play like 2 Dark Rituals, put out a big beefy creature, it'll just die to something. I don't know. By today's standards, it would die to Solitude. But so you want to combo off. Make sure you just win the game on the spot. I don't know, pull off your Reanimator shenanigans. So Dark Ritual. I'm not going to use that art, actually. I like this one. This is the classic. This is the OG. We're going to use this Dark Ritual. And it's absolutely S tier. You're not going to convince me otherwise. This is probably one of the stupidest cards. It's funny, it was, actually, I don't know if it was really fair back then, but maybe maybe it was fair in comparison to, oops, you guys can't see my tier list. There we go. Now you see it. Now you see it. All right, we're in business here. So yeah, Dark Ritual is gonna go into the S tier. I don't know if it was really fair back then. Back then they had Moxen, Black Lotus. They had Soul Ring, Mana Vault. They had a lot of stupid broken mana. Dark Ritual doesn't look so bad all of a sudden, but it still deserves its S tier by today's standards. We've got Gregory with a super chat. Fatal Blow from Weatherlight. Are you serious? Of all the cards that we have in inventory, 1 mana black spells, you choose something from Weatherlight. Original text says bury target creature. Also has pretty good flavor text. Thanks for the stream. You're welcome. All right, Fatal Blow. We're starting things off with Weatherlight. All right, let's go look at the original. All right, 1 black instant. Bury target creature that was damaged this turn. What is crueler, to let a wound of the heart fester or to simply cut it out? Ooh, that's deep. Very, very deep. Sounds like something that would be said after I broke up with someone. All right, so Fatal Blow. It's not a particularly interesting card. You have to damage someone in order to like turn it online. So, I think it's not even very fair. Sorry, it's very fair. Maybe a little too fair. I think it belongs in the D tier. It's just too conditional. Like that creature that you damaged, it probably killed your creature, which is not worth it. I could see it maybe being in the right deck. Like let's say you're playing with Bloodghast or a lot of creatures that reanimate, or like a bunch of zombie tokens. Anything that got damaged might make this good. So later on, we'll look at what's around C and B or ND, and then maybe we'll upgrade. We'll upgrade this guy. Sorry, babe, but a wounded heart is better ripped out. That's right. All right, so where do we go here? We got Cabal Therapy. The Cabal. Cabal Therapy, 1 black. Sorcery. Name an online card. Target player reveals his or her hand and discards all cards with that name. Flashback, sacrifice a creature. And the whole idea of this card is you want to name a card that you're just scared of. If you don't know what to name, what is most concerning to you? Is it Force of Will? Is it Lightning Bolt? Is it Dark Ritual? Is it some combo piece? Just name that. And that's your safe bet. And even if they don't have it in their hand, okay, who cares? At least your fears are put to rest. At least your fears are put to rest and you don't have to worry about it anymore. Does anyone use the flashback on this card? I don't remember. The decks in Legacy, do they ever flash? I don't think so. Unless it's Dredge. I don't remember if Dredge even plays Cabal Therapy. Alright, let's, I think this is a good playable card. And by the way, the tiers are, like, insanely busted, very strong playable, not very playable, unplayable. Oh, the D tier all the way down there. The Surgical count? Absolutely Surgical counts. Surgical is a great card. Surgical Extraction. 1 Phyrexian black. Instant. Choose target card in a graveyard other than a basic land card. Search its owner's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with the same name as that card and exile them. Then that player shuffles. What makes this card good, though, it's first off, it's really good combo hate. Like, super good combo hate. If your opponent is playing anything that involves putting cards in the graveyard, this is the secret sauce to beating it. Like, even versus Dredge, they put 1 Creeping Chill in there. I will Surgical Extract it myself. I will exile it personally. And it won't deal any 3 damage to me. And then I don't have to worry about it dealing 3 damage to me again in the future. We rate these based on everything, all the formats. Multi-format all-stars, or like if it's good in at least one format, I'll judge it well. So, and then the real business is that Surgical Extraction can be put in any deck. If you're a blue deck, red deck, green deck, white deck, you can play Surgical Extraction. There's no excuse for you not to have really good graveyard hate in the form of Surgical Extraction. But now, of course, the downside is the stuff needs to go in the graveyard first for you to have a target. But like, damn is it good. And it's traditionally been a very, very good card for dealing with graveyard spells. So definitely A tier quality. Not broken, or it doesn't win the game. It's a very reactionary spell, but it's a very, very good spell. Levy with the Tragic Slip. Is this card played in Commander, by the way? I want to say, like, this is a good card for Commander. Because, like, obviously something's going to die at some point, somewhere. But on the other hand, it's still a 1-for-1 removal spell, so that's not great. Who would want to... but you gotta have one... You gotta have, like, some targeted removal spells in your deck. Okay, 1 black, instant. Target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. But if it's got... but Morbid! If something died this turn... that creature gets -13/-13 until end of turn instead. Linger on, Death's Door, and risk being invited in. There we go. We got somebody uses it in Commander. We got Hangus here, and it will basically kill everything. Like, basically. Oh, I see a Wa. Okay, we're gonna get to a Wa. Tragic Slip will, like, not kill... What is it actually? What does it not kill? Maybe some random Leviathan with, like, 15 toughness? Is there an Emrakul that it can kill? Not Aeon's Torn. Maybe the second one? I think Tragic Slip kills basically 99% of the creatures so long as it can get targeted, so... It's good in that regard, but it's situational, so we're gonna put in the B tier. Playable card, though. Playable card. Very nice for 1 black. We got Wa! Good morning. Calling the Weak. The hell is this? Calling the Weak. Oh, sack a creature. It's a 1 black. It's an enchantment, right? No. Oh, it's an instant. It's an instant. Back then, it was a mana source. Alright, sack a creature, add a black, 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 black to your mana pool. Truth be told, I don't know any deck that plays this card. Like, I honestly don't. But it looks very strong. I'm gonna leave it up to you guys. What do you think? I mean, obviously, we were just talking about earlier how Dark Ritual is completely busted. This is in a very similar route. Where does this belong? Is this S tier? Is it A tier? Oh, Skylar puts B. I think that's a fair place to put the culling of the week. Taysa Karlov runs it. We got some people who thinks it belongs in the A. Mason on A. Oh, a lot of people want you like this card. Culling's a great card. B. Philbert is like, Culling's a great card. B. Put it average. You have to set it up. Yeah, I understand. But, like, if you do set it up, is the payoff there? All right, so Infinity. Whoa, whoa! S tier. Well, you lost your minds. All right, I'm going to trust you guys. You know what? That is a very good ability. We'll put it in A tier. It's a strong card. Then probably for... I don't know what it does in Commander. Maybe it does good things in Commander. And, in Modern... I think by modern standards, it's... Or sorry, not modern, but like competitive play standards, it's awkward. It's a little awkward, we'll say. Alright. It requires a little bit too much setup. Okay, what else are we missing here? We've got... Oh! We've got Aquella. Thank you very much for the super chat. Reanimate, combo with Dark Ritual and Entomb for turn 1 Grizzlebrand. We'll probably get to one of those other ones too. Reanimate. Reanimate is the quintessential reanimation spell. Put a card in the graveyard. I mean, that's why we call it Reanimator. It's because of this. We get like a little bit more. There we go. This is a little bit more nostalgic of an image, or a little bit more standard of an image. Sorcery, put target creature card from your graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. You lose life equal to its converted mana cost. And, you know, who cares about that? Lose 8 life from Grizzlebrand, no big deal. It's like turn 1! You can afford to lose some life. You will learn to earn death, says Volrath. Volrath is on a lot of these flavor texts. Volrath is a pretty big wig in the dark arts part of Magic the Gathering. So obviously, whoop. I got a new mouse, people. It's being a little janky on me right now. All right, Reanimate is... It's a combo deck as old as time. You know, like whenever we think of regurgitating creatures from the graveyard to the battlefield, it's because of Reanimate. This is how powerful this card is, and one of those combo decks that you need. You know, they designed so much graveyard hate for because it was such an unhinged, unfiltered, you know, it was There was nothing to keep the Reanimate decks, like, in check. So they had to print, like, Grafdigger's Cage. When Ravnica came along, they were like, alright, we gotta do something about all these stupid graveyard decks. And they did. They did. And now we got tons of graveyard hate. Now Reanimated is not so problematic. But always give it respect. It's an S tier type of card. Alright, what do we got next? We have a lot of super chats. That's what we have. Alex with the super chat. Thank you so much. Ghoul Caller's Chant. Ghoul Caller's Chant. What is this? 1 black sorcery. Choose one. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Or return to target zombie creatures. Sorry, zombie cards from your graveyard to your hand. Zombie cards, not zombie creature cards. Oh yeah, we're only talking spells today, so no creatures. Did we do any creatures? Did I screw up already? Spell. Excellent. I wasn't even thinking about that, to be honest. I wasn't even thinking about that. Soon we're gonna get onto the creatures, though. It's been a while since we did a tier list. Okay, Ghoul Caller's Chant. Seems like poop. The living are born small and weak. The dead rise ready to serve. The choice is obvious. Well, it's got great flavor text, but that's not going to compensate for the fact that you have to, like... You know, it's bringing cards back to your hand. That's fine. Or return 2 target zombie cards. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. So, you know, ideally the zombies just come back from the graveyard to the battlefield, right? Like, isn't that why we're building the zombie deck? Isn't that the point of this thing? That being said, I don't think it's unplayable. I don't think it's that good either. There we go. Is Magic Art getting more wide over time? Look, it's widescreen. Alright, we're gonna look at more zombie cards. Like... One with nothing. One with nothing. Oops. But before that, we gotta thank our sponsors, because I know how much you love hearing about the sponsors, like FusionGamingOnline.com, my favorite local game store where I buy my Magic singles to build my Fairies deck, my Merfolk deck, my blue modern control deck, all that good stuff. Pre-order your Magic boxes. We got, you know, Universes Beyond, Their Brothers War. What is the deal of the week this week? Save 25% off all the D&D products and books. Alright, I have nothing else much to say about that, but if you want to get that or anything else at Fusion Gaming Online, don't forget to use coupon code Nikachu at checkout to save 5% off all your purchases. Also, you can get yourself some 1-mana black spells if you are so inspired. We're also gonna thank Mana Traders, the premier place for renting Magic cards online. Are you afraid of the ban list? You're afraid of your cards getting banned off the face of this earth? You know, you've always felt that dread. You want to get into this deck, but unfortunately, you know, it's got that card that everyone's calling out to get axed. And if you buy into the deck, you're screwed. Well, when you rent with Mana Traders, they're screwed, not you. So you don't have to be afraid of renting any deck that's worthy of getting banned. You can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 10% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu_RUE. And now back to the 1-mana black spells. We got one with nothing, instant. Discard your hand. When nothing remains, everything is equally possible. Has this been put in anything? Like, seriously, has this been put in a single deck of any sort? Anything at all? This is one of those decks, it's like, it has potential! It could do something! One day! Probably! Said someone probably. But really, like, it has done nothing up to this point. It is Magic's most notorious bad spell. And maybe it will be broken one day. I mean, I think people are speculating really hard on the foils. One with nothing. What does the foil cost? Like, the actual card costs nothing. It's absolute. Whoa! What do people get so excited for around War of the Spark? Then we look at market foil. Whoa! $40. It's going to the moon. Forget cryptocurrency. Everyone's pulling their cryptocurrency and they're putting it into foil one with nothings. So people have high hopes for this card. It's crazy. A for absolute garbage. I love that. Alright, one with nothing. I better start moving faster. You guys have a lot of super chats coming up. Alright, so, yeah, we'll put in D tier. Where you belong. One with nothing. How's it feel? Alright, next we've got, and thank you so much for all your super chats, we've got, Polarity! Thanks for the $2. Entomb, by the way, what mic do you use, by the way? Thanks. I use a Shure SM7B. It is the creme de la creme of, like, basically YouTube streaming mics. The Shure SM7B. And yes, it makes you sound great and sexy, but the thing that I like the most about it is I can yell into it, and I don't peak. That's the main selling point for it to me. I can scream and I don't peak. And I had to be really reserved on my earlier content creation days. Entomb. Int black. Instant. Search your library for a card. Put that card into your graveyard. Then shuffle your library. This is the other half of the reanimate card. Now, truth be told, this card is not that impressive by itself. Like, it is good. But, you know, it needs its other combo half to be playable. Otherwise, well, I mean, you can play this card. If there's anything that you can, like, regurgitate from the graveyard, sure, that's fine. Sure makes the best mics. You know what's interesting also about this mic? It's like, the technology is over 50 years old. Like, nothing changed. That's what I find interesting. Like, microphone technology. Outside of, you know, trying to digitize it with computers, it's like peaked. Peaked a long time ago. All right, Entomb. Well, I guess we gotta, you know, it's an A tier combo, so I guess we gotta give it to the A tier. It's like the A team. There's a special set of men. I honestly don't remember how the A team show went. What else do we got? We've got Entomb. Entomb. Armageddon. Thanks so much for the super chat. Sorry, not Entomb. Darkness. Darkness. Where's Darkness? This is a very lame card. Well, you like it? Darkness? 1 black, instant, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn. If I must die, I will encounter darkness as a bride, and hug it in mine arms. William Shakespeare, measure for measure. You must like the card just for the William Shakespeare. Now here's the deal. It actually has seen competitive play once. So I can't put in the complete I can't put it completely in D tier. It was played as like a sideboard card in Ad Nauseam a few times. So Darkness can go into the C tier. Very, very, very dubiously playable, but playable. I don't even remember why they played it. They'd like maybe needed a few extra copies of the card. You know, they're basically their fog card, the white fog card. David, Davriel's Withering. Thanks so much also for the super chat. Davriel's Withering. Okay, it's a Jumpstart card from Historic Horizons. 1 black. Target creature an opponent controls perpetually gets -1/-2. So basically the card, if it goes into the graveyard. I don't even know why I'm entertaining this card. It doesn't even feel like a real Magic card. This is one of those fake Magic cards from Arena. Perpetually gets -1, -0. Don't forget about it. And yeah, so if it goes, the creature goes to the graveyard or goes to your hand or anything, it's constantly getting -1, -2. I don't know. I guess it's playable, but it's not that great. Like, it's not that impressive. It's 1 black for this removal spell. But it's perpetual. But it's just -1. Oh no, but it's -1, -2. Okay, so it hits the power. So if it's actually, it's not that bad. It's not that. Maybe it's better than I think. And it like kills. You know what? This actually is a very interesting card design because like there are certain things like say Bloodghast, like I was talking about earlier, that come back from the graveyard. It would perpetually kill it for eternity. The Bloodghast can come back onto the battlefield and trigger, but it would never come. It would never stay there. Interesting design. We've got the Black Lance Geo coming out with the heavy hitting cards. Thoughtseize. We got Thoughtseize here. 1 black sorcery. Target player reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it. That player discards that card. You lose 2 life. Any dream is a robust harvest. Still, I prefer the time-worn dreams, heavy with import, that haunt the obsessive mind. This is obviously one of the... Okay, maybe not obviously, but this is one of the quintessential... This is the black form of Force of Will to keep the combo decks in check. You got a combo piece in their hand, you're going to Thoughtseize out of their hand. Thoughtseize, turn 1. There's a lot to Thoughtseize. I mean, first, you can take their best threat. You can take the threat that is on curve and make their hand more clunky. So if they've got like 1 1-drop, a 2-drop, 3 3-drops, a 4-drop, you can hit their 2-drop, which is probably a relatively powerful spell. And then they have nothing to do on turn 2. It's basically they'll play a land doing nothing, and you get to get ahead on the board in tempo. And of course, if they've got like any combo pieces, you strip them of that. It's possible they lose the game on the spot right there. There's some decks like Bogles, for example. They mulligan hard for that 1 hexproof creature. You Thoughtseize them and take that 1 Bogle away, and they're dead. They're just like, and you know, a lot of Bogles players are like, oh, I have a good matchup versus black removal spell decks, but you don't have a good matchup versus discard. That's for sure. And the last thing that nobody recognizes is the perfect information. You get to look at their 7-card hand and you get to write that down, and then over the course of the game you have perfect information over what you have to play around, and that makes a huge impact. And so the 2 life is just nothing. Some of the combo decks would just use Thoughtseize to strip your counterspells. Exactly. They take my counterspells away. one of the absolute best. A lot of people are like S tier plus. Yeah, if we could make Thoughtseize a little bit higher, I would, but I can't. I just realized, you know, to squeeze in these images, I could just not take the whole image. Just take a little bit. Thoughtseize is just one of the best staple cards in all of Magic the Gathering. Except Commander. I bet Commander players are looking at this. This is good? Huh? What's going on here? Do they play this in Commander? I doubt it. Maybe they do, but I doubt it. Alright, we got Tetra Timboman. Scheming Symmetry. Great with Ashiok Dream Render. Really? Scheming Symmetry. Oh, right. So Ashiok can dump the card. Okay, I forgot about this card. 1 black. Choose 2 target players. Each of them searches their library for a card, then shuffles their library and puts that card on top. So we both get to tutor for a card for 1 black. Like a mystical tutor-like type of card. Not a... Black tutors usually put the card in your hand. What is this, amateur hour? What is this? Put on top of your library. But then if you have some means of, like, exiling the top of your opponent's library or discard, like, dumping the top cards of their deck into their graveyard, then, it's all gravy! It's all gravy. Sebastian on Thoughtseize is like, it's not bad in Commander, there's just so many better things to take that slot. Then it's bad in Commander. If there are better things to do, then the other cards are... I guess, yeah, I can take that comment. It's not bad. Choose 2 target players, which includes yourself. Also, seems like a very interesting card in Commander where maybe you need... If we need to gang up on one guy, we could, like... I could cast this on 2 other people, not including myself. Scheming Symmetry is also pretty solid with Obnixilis. That makes them lose 10 life if they search their library. Not bad. Not bad at all. I actually like this card. I think it's a good card. I don't think it sees any paper competitive play yet. But actually, I think it has a lot of potential. So, I can give it the A tier. I don't think it's that crazy to do. I think it seems really good in Commander. Scheming Symmetry is good to play political. I mean, you can always target the person who doesn't need help, like, is, like, pretty much dead. And therefore you give yourself the card versus the other 2 players. Anyway, that's where I'm putting it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't think I'm that wrong. Coffee and Buns. Love the name. Misinformation. Oh, black. Dealing with misinformation? No way. They work with perfect information. Alright, misinformation, a black instant. Put up to 3 target cards from an opponent's graveyard on top of his or her library in any order. The 3 target cards from an opponent's graveyard on top of his or her library in any order, and it's an instant. When you cannot rely on your sources, trust your own senses. When you cannot trust those senses, you must follow your instincts. How do you use this card? 3 target cards. It's clearly a Commander card where you have to help, where you get to help out somebody else, help boost up their, like, whatever they lost. It's going to be found again. Oh, whoa! I didn't even think about this. So Tommy says, like, so wait, you're telling me I can brick opponents with this card? So, like, you can put all the... Well, okay, if you put a bunch of fetch lands on top of their library, then that gets complicated, because then they'll just crack one of the fetches and then clear what was on top of their library, so that's not so easy. But you see, you have to put, like, basic lands on top. If you can put basic lands on top. I'll give you this, like, I've never heard of this card before, and it has a very unique effect. I've never heard of this. And I'm thinking about, like, how to use this strategically for the first time. So you could put lands on top, but it can't be fetch lands, because the moment you put 1 fetch land on top, they'll crack the fetch land, then shuffle their library, and then whatever else was put on top is just, you know, useless. You could put, what else? Play in response to Brainstorm? That's funny. Yeah, here's a bunch of garbage on top of your deck, which would be a bunch of fetch lands, probably. Graveyard. And it's also, in a lot of ways, it's also graveyard hate. So let's say they're targeting like Grizzlebrand or something in the graveyard. You could, in response, put it back on top of their library. You know, whatever they're trying to reanimate is would work. So this is like some sort of weird graveyard hate at the same time. Instead of exiling, you put it back on top of their library. Put it back in that deck. You know, the more... I thought this was a joke when I first read it, but, you know, the more you think about it, this actually has a lot of application. This came from Alliances. This is an old card. 21 cents. Paste this into Scryfall to see candidates. Oh, I can't do that. Sorry, I can't copy or anything. Alright, so now after evaluating everything that this card can do, I actually think it's not bad. Here, let's get the tier list. I don't think it's that bad. I think it has a lot of application. Can't say that it's like competitively playable, but maybe it is. There's just a lot of different, better options. Like it's like one of the best janky cards I've seen all day, that's for sure. Alright, misinformation. Funny stuff. Alright, next we got Gavin Rook. Village Rites. Always forget this card. It's instant speed and can blow out removal. Village Rites. Very popular. People love Village Rites. They love the idea of sacking their creature in response to removal to draw 2 cards. And truth be told, even without that part of the card, the card's not bad. It's 1 black. The cost is right. The price is right. And you're getting value out of it. You're drawing 2 cards. And even if you sack a creature, you could sack like an insignificant token. You can sacrifice a creature you know that's going to come back anyway. You can reanimate it from basically the graveyard to the battlefield. You know, something like Prize Amalgam, for example. Or you basically sack a creature, as we said, to removal. The scale raised scorn poles in conquered villages, cursed totems of wound and bone that saps survivors of physical strength and the will to fight back. On the other hand, it's really hard to make this card work. So I cannot say like it's an insanely great card. But where would we put it? Where do we want to put this card, chat? I don't want to put it S tier. I don't want to put it below B tier. Is this a B card? It's a playable though. Like it's playable. I think it sees Pauper play, doesn't it? I think this is a Pauper card. Gustavo says B. Gustavo's so far the only person that's voting. So, C. C. Come on, this is not that bad. All right, we're gonna go B. We'll give it a nice B. Borderline A. Borderline A sounds like a B to me. All right, the chat has poorly spoken, but I'll take it. What do we got next? Yeah, today is super chat day. We've got is Dredge an actual card? Is that a card? Dredge. Is that the original? Well, I'll be damned! There is a card called Dredge, and it has nothing to do with dredging. Absolutely nothing. Usually the mechanic has like a card that was named after it, or vice versa. Or they name a card after a mechanic, or a mechanic after a card. Instant speed. Sacrifice a creature or land, draw a card. Instant speed. Sack a creature or land. That is terrible. This is just a worse Village Rites for the most part. If you ask me. I'd strip away the world to see what's under it, but I'd never just leave it to these Phyrexian parasites and their false god, Urborg Witch. Draw only 1 card? What a ripoff! I got ripped off by Dredge! What a surprise. Alright, so Village Rites is B. We'll put this D. This is actually not that bad. Get to sack your land to draw a card. You're cycling something. I've seen worse. Hell, there could be one. It could be 1 with nothing. Next we've got Alexander. Thanks so much for the super chat. Contract from below. How is it going to be rated? It's gonna be rated harshly. Oh! Okay, 1 black sorcery. Discard your current hand and draw 8 new cards, adding the first drawn to your ante. Remove this card from your deck before playing if you are not playing for ante. Oh, interesting. Discard your current hand and draw 8 new cards? What the hell? So you actually got it's a 1 mana. Remove contract from below from your deck before playing if you're not playing for ante. Discard your hand, ante the top card of your library, then draw 7 cards. 1 black to draw 7 cards? What the hell is going on here? This card is beyond stupid. It would be I would play 4 copies of this card in my deck. It's a 1 mana, one-sided Wheel of Fortune, for crying out loud. We don't have a tier for this. We don't have a tier for this. I guess we can, maybe we just put it really close to the S. That is, I didn't even know this card existed. Holy moly. Most powerful card in Magic on rate. Absolutely. You would definitely, I mean, just make sure that you don't ante your win condition away, I guess. It's the only thing you have to be scared of. Contract from below. Why didn't anyone play these in the, like... Well, okay, so you just can't play these, sorry. I'm like, why does anyone play? Well, because it's ante, that's why. No gambling, kids. We don't gamble here. Alright, what else do we've got here? We've got, yeah, contract from below. Okay, I'll take one from the crowd. Carnophage is a creature! We're doing spells today. One day we'll do the creatures. Alexander with the Shrouded Lore. Take one from... I'm just taking a break. I'm taking one from the crowd. There's more super chats. Don't worry, we're getting to it. Shrouded Lore. 1 black sorcery. Target opponent chooses a card in your graveyard. You may pay a black. If you do, repeat this process, except that opponent can't choose a card already chosen for Shrouded Lore. Then put the last chosen card into your hand. What is going on here? Let me just reread this card, because I didn't catch it the first time around. Okay, an opponent chooses a card in your graveyard. You may pay a black. Okay, when do I do that? If you do, repeat this process, except that opponent can't choose a card already chosen. Then put the last chosen card into your hand. Oh, so I'm like, hey, choose one. They choose a land. Okay, I'm going to pay a black. Choose another one. They choose another land. Okay, pay another black. So I keep paying black until they choose a card that I want, essentially. Is this any good anywhere? This seems terrible to me. Oh, this seems like one with nothing quality. You keep paying black until... Oh, but you could sculpt your graveyard to force your opponent to give you a good card, right? Is that how it works? I think you can force them. I think, okay, well, I'll give it a little bit. If you sculpt your graveyard, and the black decks, they know how to sculpt their graveyard with delve and stuff like that. So I'll give it the C tier. What do we have next? We've got David. Thanks so much. Everyone keeps saying Deathlace, but no super chats. All right, Deathlace it is. David is saving everyone. Deathlace. What the hell does this card do? 1 black, it's an interrupt, which means it's an instant by today's standards. Target spell or permanent becomes black. Welcome to the club, my friend. Dress yourselves in snakes and skulls and bones and all sorts of other stuff. This card is useless. Target spell or permanent becomes black. There's a lot of blue spells that do that. If only it turned if it turned lands into swamps, it would be useful. But outside of that, it's not a very good card. D tier it is. Doesn't even have flavor text. Do any of the older cards have flavor text? Wow, they keep reprinting this card for some reason. Just got reprinted again in the 30th anniversary. No, it never had flavor text. Whatever. Alright, next we've got Coffee and Buns with Sacrifice. And that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. It's funny, actually, I never would have thought that Sacrifice itself would be a card. So 1 black, interrupt. Sacrifice one of your creatures to add to your mana pool a number of black mana equal that creature's casting cost. That's not bad. Instant has additional cost to cast the spell, sack a creature, and add black equal to its mana value. That's not bad, if you ask me. But where are we gonna put it? If we're gonna put it, if we're gonna put it anywhere. Look at this guy. This surprise. All right, we're gonna play doctor, and you're the patient. It doesn't look thrilled about this. I don't know where to put this card. I don't want to say it's not a good card because you're gonna sack one of your creatures, but I don't think it's a bad card. I'll put it in. But I've never seen this card ever get. Has this card ever been played? Sacrifice. That's actually S tier. Well, this is Scryfall. We're on Scryfall. One of the best websites, really, for looking up cards, to be honest. Where are we putting Sacrifice? You guys choose it for me. I'll do the weighted average of whatever you guys say. C, B, A. If you say A, I'm not going to go with it. Oh, is it a CEDH card? If it's CEDH card, I'll put it A. Sacrifice is great with steal effects. Ah, so you steal, then you sacrifice. B, top of A tier. How good is this of a CEDH card? A lot of people are saying A now. All right. Okay, I'll give it to A. I can do that. If it's a CEDH playable, you're gonna get sacrificed. You're gonna like it. Card can fail if you have no creatures on board. Well, anything can fail if the situation is isn't set up probably. We got Skylar, Katie with the super chat. Middle push. This card used to be amazing. It's actually lost a lot of value over time, but it's still playable, like big playable and stuff like Pioneer and stuff. 1 black instant, destroy target creature if it has converted mana cost 2 or less. Revolt, destroy that creature if it has converted mana cost 4 or less. Instead, if a permanent you controlled left the battlefield this turn. Very easy to enable. You sack a fetch land, let something die. Even Pioneer has Fabled Passage, so you know, enabling Revolt not terribly difficult, a little bit more awkward, but it's still possible. It actually lost a lot of power in Modern, this card, because of so a lot of the creatures got big and chunky, and there's just too much value. And, you know, you can't target Solitude or Fury with this card. It's not gonna happen. And then even if you do, they might play like Undying or something on the creature. But pretty multi-format all-star removal spell for black. Nice and cheap. Get those early 1-mana creatures. And also playable in the late game. I don't really want to say it's S tier, though. I'm going to put it A tier. This is just a very strong playable removal spell. But it has its quirks. We're clogged at the A tier. Running out of room here on the A tier side. Oh, we got David. David, thanks so much for the super chat. Curry Favor. What on earth is this? Curry Favor? How the hell did this show up? Curry Favor? Huh? Oh, I see. By default, this is a creature, so... are we gonna count this? Do I count? This is a bit weird. This is technically a creature, but there is a legitimate sorcery on here, but by default, the card is a creature. What do you guys say? No? Are we got the adventure costs. Adventure cost side. Are we gonna allow it? I'll leave it up to you guys. I think this is the first time. Everyone loves a loophole. They do, don't they? Alright, we'll allow it. It was a super chat. Alright, so Curry Favor, sorcerer. You gain X life and each opponent loses X life, where X is the number of knights you control. What? That sounds really hard to pull off. You gain X life and each opponent loses X life, where X is the number of knights you control. Well, it's on top of a creature, so like you're not losing a whole lot, but I don't say you're gaining a whole lot either. So I don't know how Knight Tribal works with this, so we're gonna put you in the C tier. It's the first time I'm actually putting the literal card in on this thing. Yes, please. Yes. Yes, allow it. I've been trolling for each of my submissions. Oh god. I haven't noticed. Not yet, at least. Alright, ST Final Wrath with a super chat. Tainted Strike. I'm one of those that like Infect. Yeah, you're not the only one. Tainted Strike. Black instant. Target creature gets +1/+0 and gains Infect until end of turn. Is this played in Commander at all? Welcome to perfection, Shieldred, Whispering One. You've been completed. You've also been infected. Skylar also likes Infect. Also an Infect fan. Okay, I'm assuming this is gonna be some combo piece somewhere, so I'll put it on C. I would not be surprised at some combo piece, because you can like just attack with a 10 power creature, give it Infect, and kill somebody. So it's got to be better than D, but it could be higher than this. I just don't. I've never seen it played anywhere. Infect is indeed very good. I love Infect in Commander, so yes. Alrighty then. We got Frankie Super. Another coffee with a teaspoon of innocent blood. Oh, I love this card. It should see more play. Is it modern playable now? Or is it not? Maybe it's not. Oh, it's still not modern playable. Why am I looking at that? I can see the legality over here. I'm so stupid. 1 black sorcery. Each player sacrifices a creature. Zombies mourn for the living and celebrate those who will soon be given the gift of death. This card is very playable. And it like basically gets rid of anything. What am I doing? So we can answer any sort of card on the battlefield. Unfortunately, if there's a lot of creatures on the battlefield, it is not so powerful, so I'll put it in the B tier. Struggle sometimes finding a home as well. Alright, we got Vampiric Tutor. Yeah, we're missing some bombs here. Vampiric Tutor. The better half of Scheming Symmetry. 1 black. Actually, it's not a scheming. Is this? Yeah, put a card on top. All right, so it's Scheming Symmetry for one side. Instant. Search your library for a card, then shuffle your library and put that card on top, and you lose 2 life. Wow, 2 life is like nothing by today's standards. And in Commander, it's like completely worthless. True power is achieved through blood and sweat, but mostly blood. It's amazing how. It's funny how, like, in competitive formats, all right, we've restricted this in Vintage. We've banned this in Legacy. We've never reprinted it to let this see the light of day anywhere else. But in Commander, it's okay. Yeah, sure, you do whatever you want. Commander, maybe is Commander more powerful than Vintage? It's a good question. Probably Vintage is more powerful. You can so long as no one's interacting with you, you got turn 1 kills. And the deck sizes are smaller, but like I think that's an interesting discussion. Commander just gets to play with all the ridiculously stupid powerful cards. Is there a more iconic card? Yeah, there we go. Here's this more iconic picture of Vampiric Tutor. Easy S tier. Easy S tier. The S tier card is above and beyond stupid in terms of what consistency it can do. Go find any card that they want in the deck. Sometimes, yes. Alright, what do we got? We got, Dem with Feign Death. I have a feel like our S tier is completely empty. How is that possible? Feign Death, 1 black instant. Until end of turn, target creature gains when this creature dies, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with a +1/+1 counter. I'm only going. It just found a home in the scam deck, so I'll put it in the B tier, but I don't think it's like you do have to work to make this thing work. It by default, it is not like an amazing card or anything like that. MG Fox. Thanks so much for the super chat. Gravecrawler or Entomb? We'll go with well, first off, Gravecaller is disqualified. Did we do Entomb? I think we did Entomb. Entomb. Here's Entomb. No, hold on. This is Entomb, right? This is Reanimate. This is Entomb. So we did both of them. And Gravecaller is disqualified because it's a creature. By spell, we mean like... We actually can do enchantments too. So instant sorceries and our enchantments are fair game. Oh yeah, Imperial Seal is also S tier. We might as well get that out of the way. Our S tier is so lonely. So empty and lonely. Imperial Seal has such a great art. What is the old art? The old art is great too. Imperial Seal has great arts. Black. Search your library for a card. Shuffle your library. Put that card on top. You lose 2 life. They just reprinted Vampiric Tutor. Were they nuts? I love the art on these Imperial Seals. Too expensive for me to just buy it for the art though. Alright, we got Super Chat by David! By the way, I was the guy who was surprised when you left the beta draft. I saw your opponent get prize packs, and I thought that meant you won. I saw your opponent. I was the guy who was surprised when you left the beta draft. Did my opponent get prize packs? That doesn't make any sense to me, because they're not done. Anyway, thank you very much for the super chat. Malakir Rebirth. Same situation as the death thing. Malakir Rebirth. Just recently became playable in the scam deck. 1 black, choose target creature, you lose 2 life until end of turn. That creature gains. When this creature dies, returns to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control. If no one knows what the synergy is, you pair it with cards like Grief, which is a pitch elemental spell. You pitch a black card, put it onto the battlefield, then Malakir Rebirth it. Then when it dies, it comes back. And you get to take someone's... It comes back, and you get 2 triggers of looking at their hand and taking a card. And you also pair it with Fury. So if anyone doesn't know what the synergy is... I hate looking for Fury on Scryfall. And it will just obliterate the board. It might as well be like a soft Wrath of God. So that's what makes these Malakir Rebirth playable. Creepy art, though. Creepy art. It's like nightmare food. So it's a playable card. Very, very playable. Very narrow. Oh, Demonic Consultation by Justin. Demonic Consultation. 1 black. Name a card. Remove the top 6 cards of your library from the game. Please don't let my card be in that top 6 cards. Then reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal the named card. Put that card into your hand and remove all other cards revealed this way from the game. That's the cost you play with the Demonic Consultation. It might as well be a tutor. It's an even better tutor than Vampiric Tutor, because it goes right in your hand. Goes straight in your hand. Just make sure you don't exile other win conditions from the game. Okay, I'm looking at the super chat. It's alright. This is going to be counting for you as well, Frosty the Ghost Man. So, Demonic Consultation is... Anyway, it's just a broken tutor. Broken 1-mana tutors! Where do broken 1-mana tutors belong? S tier. That's consistency, people. Consistently being a jerk. Tetra Tim Bowman, thanks so much for the super chat. Enchants Blood Chief Ascent... Blood Chief Ascension. This is a super popular, like, gimmicky card. 1 black enchantment. At the beginning of each end step, if an opponent lost 2 or more life this turn, you may put a quest counter on Blood Chief Ascension. Whenever a card is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, if Blood Chief Ascension has 3 or more quest counters on it, you may have that player lose 2 life. If you do, gain 2 life. It's for all the vampire players out there. Actually, can it go in, and stuff? If opponent lost 2 or more life this turn, you may put a quest counter. I guess it could also go in a zombie deck. I never thought about that. Blood Chief Ascension. Hugely popular card amongst vampire decks, though. Anyone play vampire decks playing Blood Chief Ascension? It's not an outrageously powerful card, but it's a playable card. It's a funny. It's a fun one. You play that one for fun. Vault Scourge, not 1 mana. Sorry, Sable Salt. That's 2 mana. It's 2 mana, right? Vault Scourge. And also, it's a creature. It's a creature. Blackmail. Oh, that's that 1-hand removal spell. 1 mana removal spell. Sorcery. Target player reveals 3 cards from his or her hand. You choose one of them. That player discards that card. It's not good, but it's not bad. But also, it's not good. C tier is clogged up. Alright, we'll put in D tier. Alright, it is bad. For the sake of filling up the tier list. One rule of the tier list is when we start running out of room, we're gonna just put in wherever there is room. MG Vox with the super chat. Cabal Therapy or Inquisition? We did Cabal Therapy, but we didn't do Inquisition of Kozilek. Inquisition of Inquisition of the Kozilek. Kozilek is very snoopy. Always snooping around. 1 black sorcery. Target player reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it. With mana value 3 or less, that player discards that card. Staple, really, of a lot of black decks. It's not quite... Oh, we're running out of room. I need to shrink you. I'm going to move you over. Same thing with you. Okay, we're going to move this guy over. We're going to move this guy over. And now we have room for Inquisition of Kozilek. I think it's A tier worthy. It's like a very good card. There we go. Right, tucked in there. Near the Entomb. It's a good card. Ah, Duress, a classic. You know, now we're getting all the Kafofo music. Shout out to Kafofo music. Did we do Duress already? I love this art for Duress. Uh-oh. Hold on. Let's go find one in English. There we go. Good enough. Duress, 1 black. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-creature, non-land card from it. That player discards that card. Is this card, like, heavily played in Pauper? I can't remember. It's like, the thing is this, it's like, it's a okay card. It's just there's a lot of better hand, like, destruction these days in the form of, like, Inquisition and Thoughtseize. So there's just a lot of better stuff. I think I've seen Echoing Return a million times, so we'll do that one next. Say yes to Duress. Side deck Pauper card. All right, it's good enough for me. All right, Duress guy. Ugh, I don't have a lot of room here, though. You know what? I'll put you at B. I mean, I think that's fair. You've got, like, Thoughtseize over here. You got the Inquisition over there. You got the Duress over here. It's perfectly linear. Like how it flows. Okay, what the hell is Echoing Return? The people have been calling for this card for eternity. Echoing Return, 1 black sorcery. Return target creature card and all other cards of the same name as that card from your graveyard to your hand. This is very similar to that other card that return. Like, it's just a dirtling card. Isn't the same as which one of these? I think it's this one. No, that one turns the black permanent. That one. All right, I guess we put in C tier. All other cards of the same name. I'm not in love with it. I don't even know if it does anything, to be honest. Gregory with the super chat. D tier is looking a bit empty. How about Tomb Fire? All right, let's fill up D tier. Tomb Fire. Ooh, we got a rare. Target player removes all cards with flashback in his or her graveyard from the game. Thank you for your contribution. I like the art, though. I don't even know what's going on here. What is this, a bunch of bones going into, like, exile? The fondest memories burn brightest. As they're lost forever, the flames grow hotter still. I like the beginning of that flavor text, but I think it sort of petered out at near the end. Songs of the Damned. Songs of the Damned, says Gustavo. Songs of the Damned. Which is a black, add black to each for each creature card in your graveyard. Not bad, actually. I think actually this card's okay. Actually, is this like one of those commander cards? Is this like a big card in commander? How good is this card? I want to say this is like add a black for each creature. Like, I can see the potential. Like, it can be huge. This is a really super big card. Yeah, we got instant blood already. This is a format staple in Pauper? Really? How good of a format staple? Songs of the Damned sees play in Pauper. But how powerful is it in Pauper? Like, if it's super powerful, I'd give it a high tier. But outside of that... Okay, if it sees some competitive play, it's that last little piece of clean real estate over here. In the B tier. Great in Oh! It's a huge ritual, you're telling me. It's a huge ritual. Maybe we gotta give it a little bit more room. It's a broken combo card. Okay, we're gonna make some room here in the A tier for this. It's not so bad. I forgot about that combo deck. Okay, combo ritual is combo ritual. Ritual's a ritual, people. Bubbling Muck. The hell is that? One black until end of turn. Whenever a player taps a swamp for mana, it produces an additional mana. Is that broken? Like, I want to say these things are broken. But I don't know where they see play. This, at least it's $2.52, and it's legal everywhere. Bubbling Muck is crazy good. In what deck? Is this another Pauper All-Star? That costs 1. It does cost 1. Yep. So you can't get much on turn 2. Yeah, but by turn 3 you can get you can get like 4 mana off of 1 card. It's basically like by turn 3 you have like a, well, I guess it's not really a ritual because you still have to tap the lands. Maybe it's not as impressive as I think it is. All right, Bubbling Muck. I might be mislabeling this one. Oops. Oops, I screwed up. Have we really gone through all the S tier cards? I feel like there's still a lot of room up here. I find it very hard to believe. I find it very hard to believe that we've gone through all the S tier black cards. That makes no sense to me. We'll put it here or something. You guys really love Cling to Dust. All right, Cling to Dust is a great playable. Cling to Dust. It's not an all-star or anything, but it's like a really good playable card because for 1 black, you exile target card from a graveyard. If it was a creature card, you gain 3 life. So it's like some good it's like some good graveyard interaction, but at the same time, you can pad your life total while you're at it. You know, black is all about like basically like shooting themselves in the foot. Lose 3 life here, lose 2 life there. Otherwise, you draw a card, so you get to replace it at the very least, and you can escape it. So for 1 black and 3 generic, exile 5 other cards from your graveyard. In Bleak Tizarus, all hope crumbles in your grasp. All right then, Tizarus. What's going on here? This guy's a hand. This is his butt. His butt is getting blown up. It's crumbling to dust. It's crumbling butt. Okay, this is, I think, a good B tier card. It's like a really good, it's a playable. It's a playable. It's not like you want to main deck 4 of these. It's not like you want to max out on this thing, but you do want to have it. Did we do Reign of Filth? Reign of Filth. People with your Reign of Filth. 1 black, each land you control gains sacrifice this land, add a black to your mana pool until end of turn. So pretty good for a combo deck. Ooh. These cards are really hard to evaluate because if I've never seen it in a deck before, it's like almost impossible for me to properly evaluate the damn thing. Each land you control gains sacrifice this land. It like looks like something that could be abused, but then at the same time, maybe it never did anything in history. Sinkhole, that's 2 mana. Reign of Filth sees play in some legacy decks. Alright, good enough for me. In some legacy decks. Put in the B tier somewhere. I'm flabbergasted we didn't fill up the S tier. I'm really flabbergasted. Is this true? Is this really all we have for 1 mana spells? For like, in terms of like really, I don't know, maybe Entomb was supposed to be up here. I'm not sure. I don't know. You let me know if Entomb was correctly placed. You let me know A tier or B tier for Entomb. Maybe I didn't give Entomb justice. Entomb was worth more than I give it credit for. Alright, but that's it for today. I hope you had fun. I had fun. I love tier list videos. I love ranking stuff. And would you have ranked anything differently? You let me know in the comments section below. That's how I farm that engagement around here. We do this Monday to Friday, 8 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. Be there or be square. Thank you very much for everyone who super chatted, supports the channel big time. Also lets me know how much you love Coffee and MTG, so I keep it running it every single morning. But most importantly, thank you for being a part of the conversation, being part of the tier. I wouldn't have any. Look, I didn't make this. You guys made this. I think I made one. I made Dark Ritual. Or maybe I didn't even do that. Tommy, like, inspired me before the show even started. So, you guys are the show. So, without you guys, I'm nothing. I'm just the host. You're the real Coffee and MTG. So, as usual, keep brewing up those coffees, and we will keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves. And I will see you at the next cup.